Hi, I'm Susan Keefe from Rhubarb Cod, and today I'm overthinking potato au gratin. Or is it potatoes au gratin? The holidays come up pretty fast here in Canada. We're still mourning summer, and boom, it's Thanksgiving. It feels like in the course of a week we go from pasta salads to cozy casseroles, potentially balmy temperatures, be damned. Not that I'm complaining, I've missed butternut squash and roast beef and turning the oven on in general. So it's only fitting that as we start to flirt with the holiday season, that we kick things off with something as classic and cozy as potatoes au gratin. Potatoes au gratin, or gratin dauphinois, is originally from, you guessed it, the Dauphine region in the southeastern side of France. The dish made its debut at a state dinner given by Charles Henry, not Henry Charles. The dish made its debut at a state dinner given by Charles Henry. It's Charles Henry. The dish made its debut at a state dinner given by Charles Henry, the Lieutenant General of the Dauphine region, in 1788. The dish consists of potatoes sliced slightly thicker than a penny, cooked in a cream sauce in a shallow dish rubbed with butter and garlic. The dish is sometimes topped with cheese and/or breadcrumbs and broiled. Some purists don't include cheese or even breadcrumbs in their gratin dauphinois. There are some passionate arguments against using either, but I will leave those for the keyboard warriors to handle. The take-home point here is that gratin does not necessarily need to include cheese. Technically, anything finished with a browned crust qualifies as a gratin, which stands to reason given the etymology of the word. Gratin is derived from the French word gratin, which translates to skin or crust. This dish is nothing if not descriptive. This crust can be achieved using cheese, breadcrumbs, egg, or butter, or a combination of any or all of these ingredients. If you've ever had scalloped potatoes, which typically doesn't include cheese, you may have noticed a browned, bubbly surface that forms through the caramelization of the butter and cream in the sauce. That is technically a gratin, and it may actually be closer to the original gratin dauphinois than the cheesy gratins that we are much more familiar with here in North America. Today, I will be adding cheese. I will stay true to my North American sensibilities and keep scalloped potatoes and potatoes au gratin in their respective camps. This dish is confusing enough, frankly. Start by quartering 4 shallots and smashing and peeling 2 cloves of garlic. No need to be precious, everything will be pureed. Pour 2 cups of 2% milk into a small saucepan. This is the first departure from the original recipe. Traditionally, potatoes au gratin is made with cream. Love cream, got nothing against cream. But in this dish, I find it particularly overwhelming. You have the buttery potatoes, the gooey Gruyere, and 2.5 cups of cream? That's a lot. So I'm going to make a roux using milk instead, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Once the milk is in the saucepan, add the shallots and the garlic and about a tablespoon of fresh thyme. If you only have dried thyme, use dried. Ain't no thing. Bring the milk to the verge of boiling, then reduce to a simmer. Simmer the milk for 15 minutes or until the shallots are quite tender. While the milk is simmering, preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Grease a casserole dish or a gratin dish with butter and set it aside. Shred 150 grams of Gruyere cheese and set it aside. Pour half a cup of panko breadcrumbs in a dry skillet. Place the skillet over medium-high heat and toast the breadcrumbs until golden. Transfer them to a bowl and set them aside. When the milk is done simmering, take it off the heat and transfer it to a food processor. Blitz until smooth. Be sure to take care while pureeing hot things. Pour the mixture into a large vessel with a spout. Place 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter in a saucepan over medium heat. When the butter melts, add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and whisk the two together to form a roux. Slowly whisk the milk mixture into the roux, taking care to integrate each addition before adding more. Once the milk is in, add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard and a teaspoon of salt and stir to combine. Take the sauce off of the heat and whisk in half a cup of heavy cream. I decided to make a bechamel to make it possible to use milk instead of all cream without sacrificing mouthfeel. A roux is also a good insurance policy. It helps guard against a runny gratin, which is the absolute worst in my opinion. Scrub 2 to 3 russet potatoes. The amount of potatoes you use is entirely dependent on their size. Using a mandolin or a sharp chef's knife, slice the potatoes. Aim to slice your potatoes no thicker than a penny, or at least that's what English food writer Elizabeth David recommends, and who am I to argue? Arrange the potato slices in the dish you prepared earlier. Fan the potatoes out until they cover the bottom of the dish completely. Sprinkle the potatoes with salt. Assault the potatoes.
No, don't!
Sprinkle the potatoes with a little salt and add a third of the sauce you prepared earlier. Finish with a little bit of Gruyere cheese. Repeat until you have 3 layers of potatoes, finishing with the sauce. Don't add any more cheese to the top. Cover the potatoes with tinfoil and transfer them to the oven. Bake the potatoes for 65 to 70 minutes or until fork tender. When the potatoes are done, take them out of the oven and turn on the broiler. Remove the foil and sprinkle the potatoes with the remaining cheese and the panko breadcrumbs. Return the potatoes to the oven and broil until golden and bubbly. Keep a close watch on the gratin and rotate the dish frequently to ensure it browns evenly. Take the potatoes au gratin out of the oven and let sit for 10 minutes. Garnish the dish with fresh sage leaves and freshly ground pepper. Serve immediately. And that's everything I could think to overthink about potatoes au gratin. I hope you give this one a go, and if you do give it a shot, let me know how it went in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to this channel. I post a new recipe every week and a ton of goodies along the way. Thank you for cooking with me. I'll see you all next time.